my screen.
Officially, our event today, this is Coronavirus Battle in America, and I would like to introduce you our Anna Fedorova, Chief Partnership at Startup.Network and CEO of Unicorn Battle Cup. And Anna?
Yes, hi Anastasia. I'm really glad to see familiar faces. Dear friends, I miss you. By this time, I was supposed to be in California with you, but we will be waiting until the lockdown stops. And today, I hope we'll do everything to bring our life back to normal. And I would like to say that our event is happening thanks to our sponsors, Global Platinum Sponsor Network, VC California Seed Fund, and our global golden sponsor, ICU Ventures, our great friends. It's a Kyiv-based venture capital fund that invests in technology companies with strong ties to Ukraine and Eastern Europe, making late seed and Series A investments across the tech spectrum. ICU Ventures is a part of ICU Group, an independent asset management firm founded in 2006 by senior investment professionals from ING. It's one of the largest and most diversified asset management managers in the CEE region. And also our global silver sponsor, Silicon Valley Syndicate Club. And many of you had been already invited, and I invite all the rest of you to join us for our Summer Cup that will be happening. I hope, keep fingers crossed, in Silicon Valley on July 30th at the legendary location, the Computer History Museum. And the winner of our today's battle will also join us to pitch live there, as well as 50 winners of all the major cities all around the world that we are doing local preliminaries. And we are expecting a huge crowd there. There'll be a startup expo for startups from all over the world. There'll be live pitches, there'll be LPGP event also. So please join us for our wonderful event. And also we are welcoming partners and sponsors to join us for our events that are happening all over the world, and also for our finals Unicorn Cup that will be on July 30th at Computer History Museum. And also, I would like to introduce you to our company, Startup.Network. Many of us know what this company is, but we're always glad that new friends join us every time. We are a family ecosystem that consists of various online platforms and solutions that unite startups, VC professionals, top-level managers in one business space, making it possible to solve absolutely any task in the field of innovation and solutions. And the oldest part of our ecosystem is unicorn battles. We used to have them offline, but thanks to the coronavirus, we moved it online, and it was a great challenge, but we managed it, and see how we easily doing it. And we have been doing it for 11 years already and have done more than 200 events in 20 countries. And we are having regular USA contests in Silicon Valley, where our headquarters are. And we are welcoming also new partners. This is our roadmap for 2020 for this year. If you see a country where that you are from and we haven't been there yet, please approach me or our event managers, and we would love to be with you in your country. And today, we have done yesterday coronavirus battle for European and Israeli startups. Today we are doing for South and North America. And in a week, we're going to have coronavirus battle for Asia, Middle East, and Australia. And first week of May, it will be coronavirus battle Africa. Because this is the problem that all of us probably trying to solve. For some people, it's a personal problem. For some people, it's a problem of their business surviving. For some people, it's problem of overwhelming this threat and bringing life back to normal. So let's do everything that is possible for all of us. And I would like to introduce you also to the most recent part of our family, is Network VC California Seed Fund, that is active today with two strategies. First one is to investing into our pre-acceleration program for the chosen startups. And the next one is being a lead investor at the Silicon Valley Syndicate Club. Silicon Valley Syndicate Club is a special entity for private investors who can join us in a syndicate that we lead, and they follow with the check as little as $10,000 and investing into the startups and growing the unicorns out of them. And we had also started a new program under the name of Silicon Finance, and we are inviting all startups who would like to apply to top American accelerators, having an opportunity to bring the life of their startup to absolutely new level. We help them to relocate to United States. We grant them $50,000 worth of services and funds, and help them to start a new life all over. And I would like to give a floor to our wonderful host, Anastasia, who you all know, and she will lead you through our battle. Anastasia.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks. We would like to say thank to our co-organizer at Z Park Innovation Center. So thanks for helping us to spread the word about this event. And also thanks our media partners, it's Expert Dojo, Bay Angels, and Dave Martinez Ventures. So thank you guys to spread the word. So this is our agenda. Now we're introducing ourselves, and then our honored judges will introduce yourself within 1 minute, and then we will get further and our start competition will begin. And then we will announce winners, and first place will participate in our finals in July, I hope. And it will be about maybe 30 minutes networking. We can chat, ask questions.
Exactly.
So now let me introduce our honored judges. There are 40 plus judges join us today. So thanks everybody for your time. And first of all, I would like to introduce Alexander Soroka.
Yes,
our
I
CEO,
think
Startup.Network.
Yes, CEO and founder Startup.Network, Alexander. Yes, please tell us a little bit about the industry you invest in, the stage of the startups you invest in, geography, if you choose startups by geography. Just briefly, for 1 minute.
Thank you
Alexander?
very much, Anna. Hello, everybody. I will not talk a lot because you, Anna, already told about our company and our products, everything. So I just want to say thank you to every judge who come today to this battle to support startup. Will be pitching today, and just say good luck, guys, and try to win today. Thank you.
Thank you. Who wants to be next? So we don't have to push anyone. I'm just scrolling through judges.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sudhir Kadam. I'm from FIDA Growth Partners. We look at deep tech startups that are transforming from early adoption into growth. Our focus is to fund growth for exit. Some of our exits are in location apps, video streaming, IoT platform. And the last one was in cloud workload protection, which was acquired by McAfee in August 2019. Our current focus is AR, VR, computer vision, IoT, biotech for health and wellness technology, construction, teleoperations, and alternate foods.
Okay.
All the best for the startups.
Thank you,
I
Thanks.
can go if you want.
ahead.
My name is Robert Nivert. I work for 500 startups. We're obviously early seed stage. We run programs throughout the world. We invest pretty broadly, but we mostly do software, but a little bit of hardware in other areas. But we're definitely a fairly early investor.
Cool. Thank you.
I can go this one
Yeah.
if you want. Hi everyone. Really pleasure to be here. My name is June. I'm representing Social Starts and Julian's partners. Two of our funds focus on investing in health and through health, the delivery of happiness. Our focus areas in the early stage companies ranges from inception to Series A. So good luck to all the companies today.
I can go
Wonderful.
next. My name is Victoria Marwan, and I'm associate at Expert Dojo. We are an accelerator fund. We invest in pre-seed and seed stage companies globally around the world. Good luck with startups today, and I'm looking forward to helping them.
Wonderful. Thank you, Victoria. Yes.
Hi, I'm Phil Nadell. I'm with Forefront Venture Partners. We invest in post-revenue companies raising seed through A rounds that are based in the United States and Canada. We're industry agnostic, and looking forward to hearing from the startups today. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Thanks.
Yes.
I can go next.
Yes, Roman. Hi.
Yes, hi there. I'm Roman Nikitov from ICU Ventures. We're honored to be sponsoring this great event. Thank you very much, Startup Networks, for actually getting us all together here in this virtual spot. We're very excited to look into this new paradigm opportunities and see how the companies are adjusting to the new reality. We actually invest at the late seed, around A, with companies, what we say, originating from or having a Eastern European DNA, but thinking globally and moving to the United States or elsewhere, chasing the markets. Happy to be
Wonderful. Great to have you.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Right, I can go next as well. So my name is Lee Green. I'm the managing director of Health Inc. Between Startup Bootcamp and the Amsterdam Institute of Technology and Health. And we are early stage focused on digital health startups globally. And good luck to all of you startups.
Thank you, Lee.
Thanks. Thanks.
I can go if that's all right.
Yes,
I'm John
absolutely.
Baer
Hi,
with
John.
Stonehearth Ventures. I'm a serial entrepreneur and recovering venture capitalist. I actually don't spend much time investing. I spend much more time helping companies with both operational and strategic issues, helping them really think through when and how they go about raising capital, how they move their company forward.
Great. Thank you for being here.
This is Bill Herman. I can go next if that's all right.
Yes. Hi, Bill. Yes, sure.
Hey, how are you? So I'm Bill. I'm the founder and managing partner of Wilshire Phoenix. We're a ETF sponsor and creator of investment indexes, and we just launched a investment fund. We were my partners and I were primarily just using our own funds to invest in sort of pre-seed through A startups in finance, and particularly finance, but broader, sort of almost agnostic if the opportunity is right. So good luck to everyone, all the startups. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Jules. You want me to go?
Yes,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Hi, Jules Walker. I'm with KPMG. Many of you probably know KPMG, not a radio station, but a big accounting firm. We have an emerging technology practice, and I head up business development for it in the Bay Area. So working with startups, more later stage companies, but do some work with startups. And then on the side, I do some angel investing personally. So great to meet many of you. I know a few of you already, and enjoy this experience.
Great to have you,
I'll go
Jules.
next.
Yep, sure.
David
David.
DeJesus. Hi, thank you for having me. I'm with VU Venture Partners. We're a multi-stage fund investing in consumer enterprise, healthcare, fintech, frontier, and prop tech most recently. We mostly participate and co-invest at pre-seed to Series A. And we do keep follow-on funding for Series B. But mostly just excited to be here and see the battle. Lovely to see everyone participating and look forward to networking with everybody.
Great to have you.
Hi, I'm Marisa McGinnis, and I'm an LP with Blumberg Capital Management. And also I'm with Golden Seeds, the Silicon Valley San Francisco chapter. I'm interested in quantum computing, strong AI, and genomics. Yeah, that's it. And these are early stage. So these would be seed and A rounds. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to have you.
Thanks for coming.
Maybe I can go next. So this is Ella.
Sure. Yeah, hi Ella.
Hi, Ella.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Great to see you.
From Z Park.
Yes.
So
my name is Ella Lee, and I'm the partner of a ZGC Innovation Fund, and also I'm in charge of all the investment affairs of ZGC Capital or ZGC Innovation Center in Silicon Valley. And our parent company is ZGC Developing Group, one of the largest state-owned enterprise in China. That manages Z Park, the largest tech park in China, which is also called the China Silicon Valley. So myself is a healthcare scientist turned venture capitalist, and I have a 15 years experience in pharmaceutical and also biotech sector. And I'm especially interested in therapeutic investment opportunities from drug discovery to commercialization stage. Also interested in MedTech, AI, and also IoT sectors. So good luck, everyone.
Thank you for being here.
I could jump in if no one else.
Sure, yeah.
My name is Haley Fradkin. I am an investor at Plum Alley, a venture capital firm based in New York and San Francisco. Our focus in terms of stage is typically Series A and Series B. 70% of our portfolio covers deep technology with a good amount of exposure in hardware, from autonomous electric vehicles to Internet of Things devices, detecting things like air quality, water quality, natural disasters. And the remaining 30% of the portfolio is focused on frontier healthcare. So we've done everything from diagnostics to therapeutics to medical devices, regenerative medicine, CRISPR technology. And in terms of geography of our portfolio, it's mostly US based with one European company. Worth noting that our investment thesis covers gender diversity. So all of our companies have at least one female founder with equal equity representation on the cap table. And yeah.
Okay, Haley, wonderful. Yes. Who wants to go next?
Probably can go next.
Yeah, Kate. Yeah.
Hi, this is Kate from Ideation. So we focus on startups targeting emerging markets or have intention for global expansion. So our thesis mainly covers future work, financial inclusion, and also healthcare that could potentially be scaled globally. And we do anywhere from pre-seed to seed, have to write the first check.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hi, this is Angelo Del Priore. I'm a partner with HP Tech Ventures. We invest.
Hi, Angelo.
Hello, Anna. Nice to see everybody. We invest $1 to $5 million. We look at startups from anywhere in the world. Have offices in New York. Boston, here in Silicon Valley, and Israel. I, in particular, cover for HP gaming and esports, AR and VR, and AI. But we're interested in anything that kind of makes a PC or a regular printer or a 3D printer better.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Can I jump in now?
Yes, sure, Elena. Hi.
Hello, everybody. My name is Elena. First of all, I'm very grateful to be a part of this coronavirus batch. So I'm part of Ventures team at Plug and Play, based in Sunnyvale, California. So Plug and Play is one of the most active global investors, and we work here across many industries, more than 15 verticals, including brand and retail, travel and hospitality, fintech, insurtech, health tech, etc. My focus is mainly on travel and hospitality. And apart from being a traditional VC, we also work as matchmakers. So we make sure that we connect startups with more than 300 corporate partners from our ecosystem. We focus mainly on pre-seed, seed, and Series A investments. Yeah, I'm glad to be connected with everybody, and good luck to all of the startups.
Thank you, Alina.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
Hey.
Alexander.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Alexander Piskunov. I work as a partner at the fund called Roventure Ventures. We invest in US and in emerging markets like Eastern Europe and Latin America in the field of frontier tech. So artificial intelligence, robotics, mobility, quantum computing, all those kinds of things at earlier stages, so seed stage and Series A.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for coming.
Hey
guys, maybe I'll jump in here.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Tiffany representing Differential Ventures. We are New York-based seed stage venture capital fund. We focus on what we call the future of data. So everything from applied AI and other technologies benefiting from big data to the infrastructure and piping for those technologies, all within the B2B software world.
Great, thanks for coming.
Hey guys, so glad to be here. I'm happy that everybody seems safe, and I'm very glad to be part of this group. Looking forward to the next few hours that we have ahead of us. So I'm Derek Bitar, based in São Paulo, Brazil. I am the co-founder and managing partner of Indicator Capital. It's an early stage venture capital firm with offices in both São Paulo, Brazil and the Bay Area. We do invest on a cross-border basis between the two regions, with a focus of helping startups develop their, accelerate the corporation's digital transformation process. We're very much industry agnostic. I'm pretty much specialized in health, have done a lot in AR and VR, also fintech. So, you know, in terms of a partnership, we're very much looking forward to opportunities that are based on data-driven and have an IoT application as well. So as I mentioned, we're trying to help accelerate the Brazilian ecosystem through investments on a cross-border basis. And I'm happy after this to everybody to reach out and connect. And good luck to all the startups that will be joining us today.
Wonderful, thank you, Derek.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bas Gotska from Acrobator Ventures. Hi, I'm
Bas.
based in the Netherlands and in Ukraine. Thanks for having me. Very smart people here, I see. So a great initiative to jointly battle against the virus. We're a pre-seed and seed stage 40 million euro fund. We're still actually fundraising a bit, but we're doing deals now. It started with 10 years of angel investing. That portfolio became worth $1 billion, although it started at 10 million. So all of a sudden we needed to really become more professional and set up a fund. We did a $50 million round today with Myro. This is my kind of first 100x today, which is two hours ago on TechCrunch. So
wow.
Thanks for bragging.
Yeah.
So drinks are on me tonight. Like, and we invest, actually, the interesting is we are the only growth hack early stage fund in the world, as far as I know. Happy to be challenged. And we basically add value with our 10 people that are dedicated to 20 years of experience in growth hacking and digital marketing. So we offer very smart money, or so I like to believe. And basically, that is our angle, and we are only interested in the Netherlands, the former Soviet Union, and the CEE region, or founders that come from this region and live elsewhere in the world. And because of this growth hack angle, we don't really care about the sector. We don't know enough about biotech or IoT, but anything, whether it's marketplace or B2B or voice tech or AI, if we can see that we can help with B2B lead generation or B2C, that's where we come in. So that's the story. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bas. Yes, guys?
Shall I?
Oh, hi, Ashok.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ashok, co-founder and partner of SmartGate VC. It's a pre-seed venture capital fund investing in deep tech, including computational biotech and healthcare AI. So the fund is backed by Tim Draper and a number of VCs and professionals from the US. and we invest in Eastern Europe and California mainly. So currently we have 17 companies in our portfolio, and our follow-on investors and co-investors include YC, Berkeley Skydeck, True Ventures, Sierra Ventures, others. So happy to be here.
Cool. Great to have you. Yes.
Yes, Wissam here.
Hi, Wissam.
Hi, I'm Chief Investment Officer at Tidder Family Office in Hong Kong, and a partner at Honey Capital, which is basically the family office early stage investment arm. I wouldn't say we're really a traditional VC. We do not have a specific mandate. We do actually invest our own capital. We do not have a specific focus. Pretty much sector agnostic, as you can see probably in our on our website. We can invest at pretty much any stage. We just fall into another case of the family. I mean, having said that, we do like software businesses, marketplaces. We're really into agri-tech lately, prop tech, and basically anything else that could possibly have a fit with the more mature portfolio companies of the family office, basically.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Richard Sussman here from Rebel Fund.
Hi, Richard.
Excuse my video camera. Unfortunately, my computer is not working as well as I hope it could today. So forgive me for not having my face there. Pleasure to be here. I think this is my second event with you guys. You guys definitely put on a wonderful and professional curriculum for those that join. And I'm looking forward to meeting these startups that you bring to the table here. Rebel Fund is my second fund. It's a small boutique fund based in the Bay Area. My partner and I are very much focused on Y Combinator companies. So those companies that aren't YC, we work with them to see if they could become YC credible. And then we've built an algorithm out of MIT last summer, which helps us basically filter from all the applications all the way down to the top 0.6% of the class, and then we invest in those. So about 100 investments we're searching to fill. We're about 14 investments in, $50 million to $70 million fund, so it's small in size. Our structure is anywhere from a few $100,000 to maybe $500,000 with follow-on round capability. But our unique thesis allows our LPs, who are really fund of funds and family offices, to have direct deal flow, so they come in and lead on the follow-on rounds before the rest of the market gets notes of that. So that's basically why what we're doing right now.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
I'll go. My name is, hello.
Hi, Amina.
Hi. My name is Amin. I'm the co-founder and managing partner of Africa Impact Partners. We are both a Series A fund, and we have also our incubators for we incubate our own companies and seed companies. And our focus is geographically is potentially Africa, but also startups elsewhere that want to expand into Africa. And the verticals are agri-tech, health tech, fintech, and education, so ed tech.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. And
hi, this is Mary here.
Hi, Mary.
I represent Mindrock. We're early stage VC fund, and we primarily invest in companies at early stages, but sometimes in pre-IPO companies as well. We're focused on edtech, media startups, AI, self-driving cars. But we're open for new opportunities in different industries and looking forward to hear from startups. Good luck to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last call. Everybody's aboard. Oh, Jordan. Yes, finally.
Thank you for having me. Good luck to all of you. Great to see you all in here with Bay Angels as well as Scorpion Capital. We invest in all sorts of sectors, industry agnostic, as long as it is tech. My number one goal today is support the groups over here. My number two goal is encourage all the startups to create a robot to cut hair at home. You will become a millionaire in a heartbeat. So go for it.
That's cool. Great, Jordan. Yeah, I see Eugene.
Yeah, hello everybody. Thanks for inviting me again. This is the third time, and it's really terrific just to see a lot of startups. I think this is one of the few opportunities for networking and to get acquainted with promising startups. So I speak on behalf of Positive Dialogue Management Company that promotes a positive international dialogue across the nations, and RxD Capital, that's an impact investment evangelist combining private capital and innovations that promote the development of the impact sector in Russia and the CS region. So the key mission of the RxD Capital is to create long-term value for future generations and to foster building a system of sustainable capitalism. So RxD Capital actively interacts with the investment, financial, and banking sectors, as well as with the development institutions, large international organizations, and transnational corporations on the topic of sustainable development and implementation of the Global 2030 Agenda. So I wish good luck for all startups. It's one of the, it's another great event, and I'm really thrilled I anticipate it. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Maybe I missed somebody. Hope I didn't.
Hi, myself.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Allison. Yes. Exactly.
I'll go quickly. Hi, I'm Allison. I work for a fund called Blue Ventures here in San Francisco / Menlo Park. We typically lead seed and Series A deals, and I focus on enterprise SaaS, fintech, and digital health. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Yes.
Hey, and I think I'm the last one remaining here. Hey, everybody, this is Abhi.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, this is Abhi Aniket from Magnificent Ventures. It's a cross-border firm that I run. We do late seed to Series A rounds. I'm not going to take too much time, but I'll quickly say we run 3 streams. It's a cross-border platform for consulting, innovations, and investments. Happy to share more information through the networking part, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody else here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. And who wants to say a word? Last call 1, last call 2, last call 3. Finished. Let's go to the startup speech session. Anastasia, will you take care of it? Yeah, I'm sharing.
Will you share? Yeah.
Yes, yes. I forgot my part. Yeah. Yes, here it is. And where is our startups?
Thanks again, our honored judges, for coming, for your time.
I
would like to tell about how you need to vote. You've received a special personal link. You go to the link and scroll down, see all startups, and you have to put marks from 1 to 5, and 1 is the lowest potential, investment potential, and 5 is the highest. So make your decision, and you can change it anytime till we finished it voting. So if you have any questions, just send a message. We will support you. And also, I would like to tell our attendees, thanks for coming. And you also can vote online. Go to our event page and put your likes. For each for all dislikes, yeah. And yeah, you and the winner of attend this voting also will be announced.
Exactly.
So now we move to our pitch competition, and first I would introduce first startup. It's Sensale and Ned.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes, yeah, loud and clear.
Great. Well, thank you for the opportunity. I am going to share my screen.
Yeah, you.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah, we
Excellent.
see.
So I'm going to
And
go ahead and start.
just one moment. You have 3 minutes to pitch, and if you will exceed, I will stop you. And then 3 minutes for judges to for questions and suggestions. So yeah, let's start.
Okay, excellent. So my name is Ned Saleh. I'm from Sinsal. We're located here in the Silicon Valley. I'm going to talk about the mega problem that we solve. So today, 40% of Americans, and this applies to the rest of the world, suffer from avoidable lifestyle-induced illnesses, and the lack of effective market solution for behavior change creates a big burden on the healthcare system. In the process of trying to solve that, you create and generate a lot of health and wellness data that's owned and monetized by third party. The market we address is $2 trillion and increasing. And these underlying diseases range from everything from heart diseases, strokes, diabetes, and so forth. The United Nations ranked the top 17 problems in the world, and wellness and poverty were top 3, and poverty ties to data monetization and income. So I'm going to jump into solution here. And if you can see my screen here, this is the device we invented. So the solution is a programmable full panel blood test and other bodily fluids. This is a class 1 medical device. So the video is running. This is a quantified wellness model, direct to consumer. It is a system where users generate their data and exclusively own it and monetize it. It's a C2B and B2B model. The device is the price of the cell phone, about $500, and each cartridge or test is between $5 to $20. We have the MVP done, as you can see in the video, and the drive-through model and the kiosk model, as you can see here, is under design. We have the financials taken care of. The cost of customer acquisition is $1 to $3, and the lifetime value is over $1,000. This is the first system in the world that we know of, and I've been looking at this carefully since the COVID breakout. We're the only system that offers 4 necessary tests for COVID. And what that means is that we measure both the virus presence and the immune system. And that gives you high confidence measurement in the virus and the antibody modeling, long and short term, a passport to re-enter community and herd immunity modeling. We also do contract tracing, and the data is owned and monetized by users. So you do your own full COVID test and you own the data. Just imagine that. This is our team, our advisors, and these are our milestones. We started in 2016, 3.5 million. We have 7 patents working MVP. We verified 7 assays, including Zika virus, which exactly applies to the coronavirus. We're looking to raise $10 million and be in the market later this year and scale up in 21 and 23 exit strategy. These are our partners for design, and we've been in the news recently, and thank you for listening. I'll take any questions.
Yeah, thanks. Now, any judges can ask questions or suggestions. If you want to ask, yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
So you're at the MVP stage, right? So this is a trial device that you have.
Correct. It's a pilot device.
Okay. So what would be your go-to-market strategy, and who would be your final customer, and how much this device would cost to a customer?
Our first go-to strategy right now, given the COVID situation, is the kiosk model. This would generate a lot of traffic, a lot of revenue, and most importantly, the data will be generated will be the most. The home device will be secondary. The cost of the device, as you can see here, is about $500. And just like a cell phone, that doesn't have to be paid for upfront. There are many different payment plans. And if the user opts into the data monetization, this not only could be free, but it could be a money generator. The home device, I think the first go-to market would be middle income, middle age individuals who have good purchasing power, and their cost would be in that range.
Ned, this is
Anybody else?
Jordan. I heard you say the customer acquisition cost is $1 to $3.
Correct. This covers basically, it's similar to the cell phones. It's basically advertising and reach out to customers. It's probably close to $1 if we go down the kiosk model. But for the home device, it's probably going to be in the higher end of that.
What's the FDA status today?
We are working with one of the major vendors in the US to take us to market. Basically, this is a class 1 medical device, so it does not require pre-market notification. It's a direct-to-consumer wellness model.
Has it been filed? Has it been processed, or is it still about to be?
About to be. It will take us probably a couple of months. We just have to show that the engineering measurements produced from the device at our lab meet the claims on the device. So no clinical trials required. It's a very low risk process.
Well, how much you're asking for, and what are some of the terms?
We're asking for $5 to $10 million here. So $5 million will put us in the market in a few months before the end of the year for the kiosk approach. $10 million will add a parallel path with the home devices. Each model has its own strengths and advantages. And the terms are negotiable. Please reach out to me offline and we can talk about that.
Thank you.
So can you tell a little bit about the principle? So you are measuring protein or RNA?
If you can see my slide here, our platform is programmable. Before COVID, the baseline technology can measure any wellness panel pretty much. It's a breakthrough technology based on a Nobel Prize in 2018 physics. And there are 7 patents that cover that. So the technology is really innovative. As far as the COVID measurement, we do both. We do the full 4 sets of measurements. So you have 2 measurements that cover the virus presence. That's the viral RNA. And then there's the protein antigen. This is the viral RNA is a swab test, and the antigen is a blood test. It's a few drops of blood. So these are the RNA, and I'm sorry, these are the virus presence, and the other 2 tests are the antibody tests. So we do the full 4 simultaneously. They probably require 2 cartridges, but they can be done on the spot. And the results can be basically sent out to the user. There's no
I'm just concerned the fact that you're gonna measure RNA, since it's gonna be on spot detection. So what about this RNA contamination? Also the RNA extraction from the sample. Can you quickly just 1 sentence?
Yeah, just quickly, because the time is up and we have to move next. Maybe just quick.
Yeah, well, there's a kit that the user can use. They can administer themselves. They can mix the swab in a vial, and then they can stick it in the device in the kiosk model, and it will be disposed of on the spot as hazardous waste. In the home model, it's a similar model. You can dispose with the hazards in a special bag and send it back to us. So that's covered as part of our regulatory approval. And we have plans with that with our vendor. So I'll be happy to talk to you about it offline.
Yeah, we can talk later, maybe when it will be a networking session. Yeah, thanks, Ned.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Cancel your sharing screen, and we are moving next. Next startup is Modality, and David.
Give me a sec. Do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me
Can you
present.
make it full?
Remove
Yeah,
this
great.
Here we go. Modality is a company that was founded in order to address one of the most imminent issues in the development of drugs, namely the inefficiencies in drug trials. They are too slow, they are too error prone, and they are too expensive. When you look at a very specific area of drug trials, which is neurological and psychiatric conditions such as depression, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, this is how drug trials work today. Subjects come to the clinic, they are being examined by a neurologist or psychiatrist. You see already, this is one of the reasons why during the COVID crisis, actually none of these trials is moving forward, because coming to the clinic is not an option. And another substantial issue is that the neurological examination is highly subjective and it's scarce. It happens every 3 to 6 months. So the result is a scarce, subjective, noisy sequence of data, which is being used to determine whether a drug is working, for whom it's working, under which circumstances, and to which degree. One would wish there was a accessible and objective way to measure the progression of these conditions so that trials can be successful. We have developed a technology which is called the neurological lab test, which is able to address both of these pain points. It is based on the assumption that subjects in the clinical trial are engaged in a conversation with a virtual avatar, and speech and facial movements of the subjects are being streamed into the cloud, and facial and speech metrics, biomarkers, are being extracted that are highly accurate, and they are correlated and predictive of the clinical endpoints of the drug trials. By doing so, you can actually reduce the time it takes for a trial, because you have a larger bench and more accurate bench of markers. You can reduce the failure rate because you can do these sorts of measurements directly from home through consumer devices such as laptops, smartphones, or iPads. And most importantly, you can increase the return on investment of the development of a drug by an estimated 80%. This opens a $3 billion market, which is bottom up 300 million when you look at only United States, certain select countries in Europe and Japan for neurology and psychiatry in the drug trial space alone. When you look at the wider space, which includes remote patient monitoring, which is really interesting at the current moment, we are actually offering this very technology to psychiatrists and neurologists currently during the national emergency for free, so they can use this to screen their patient base asynchronously and get reimbursed by the Medicare CPT codes and other health insurances. This opens a market that is even 10 to 15 times bigger than the drug trial space alone. We are in production. We are in several clinical trials, IRB approved clinical trials, such as at UCSF, at UT Dallas, at UT Austin. We are also under IRB review at Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard, at Purdue University, and a number of other hospitals as well. We also have a number of contracts with pharma companies, including Retrotope, for whom we are running in a late onset Tay-Sachs study, a first drug trial. I'm David Sondermanoff, Chief Executive and founder of Modality. My co-founder, David Porter, the CTO. We have a combined 30 years of experience in artificial intelligence and machine learning, a proven track record of leadership in small and large companies, including 2 major exits. We're raising $2 million right now, out of which we have $420,000 in the bank, and we would love you to be part of this journey.
Thank you. Thanks. Now, questions?
You mentioned you have 80% ROI on the drug development. Have you benchmarked this anywhere?
We have, we were currently pre-revenue, which means that we have not fully gone through the entire cycle. This is based on publicly available information from the NIH, from Wall Street Journal, from Johns Hopkins University, and some of the findings which we have done in academic trials so far. So I can provide the specific way to how we came up with this specific estimate to you, if you want, offline.
Okay, I'll be interested in that.
Of course.
David, this is Jordan. Can you give me a concise view on your traction to date, please?
Yes, a concise view is that we are in academic trials at many hospitals, specifically in the United States. We are running one trial at a pharma company. The other ones are letters of interest of upcoming phase 2 trials, specifically in ALS.
That's 2, is that right?
these are 2 trials in ALS. There's 1 trial in a with a company who does biopharma, who does skincare, for which we are also planning a trial.
Your pre-revenue and the product is in beta?
This is correct. We are pre-revenue. Well, we have collected revenue, but it's relatively small so far, $40,000. And right.
Come on, guys, more questions. He needs some questions. Give him some.
Yeah, just don't forget unmute you and ask questions.
Is there a licensing model that you can deploy for wider scalability, faster spread?
Yeah, the model, that's a good question. The business model is actually a SaaS business model. We have different packages for different numbers of seats. So the target is actually for phase 2. It's a model where we have up to 1,000 seats, which we collect a monthly fee.
So I was more thinking of a white label where others would take your technology.
Oh, I see what you're saying. This is currently not planned. Currently, we're directly selling.
Who are your
competitors? Who are the competitors? That's a good question. We have a number. Let me go to the slide about the competition in a second. There's a number of companies who are looking into speech analytics. There's, for example, All Analytics or Winterlight Labs from Canada, who are using specifically the speech signals to determine some of these vital signs. And we are very different in that we are looking at facial signals, and we are looking at using naturalistic dialogue, naturalistic automated dialogue to produce naturalistic behaviors, which are very important to actually determine and add these specific additional biomarkers, for example, from your facial movements, your lip aperture, your jaw acceleration, things like this. We've actually conducted and finished a study now with our depression protocol where we had more than 300 patients conversing with our systems, and have shown that actually the facial metrics are so much more informative and stronger than the speech metrics alone. And as far as we understand, we are the only provider of such technologies in the world that combine speech and facial measurements in that fashion.
And what kind of revenue are you expecting per customer account? What's your model say?
In the drug space, in drug trial space, our sweet spot currently is phase 2 trials, the efficacy study trials, and we expect a revenue of $20,000 per month and trial.
What are the privacy implications of tracking this type of facial recognition? And is there any regulatory landscape around the data that the data ownership?
Yeah, that's a good question. So first of all, we are a HIPAA compliant entity. We only collect the data we need in order to fulfill our business purpose. So we don't have any EFI except for speech and facial data, of course, which we need in order to extract the metrics. The data is owned by the sponsor, who is the pharma company. However, because we need to fulfill our business purpose, we are normally storing the data for a significant period of time so that we can apply the different metrics algorithms to the data, which is an important fact because we are learning and conducting our own research and development based on these very rich data sources.
Is it GDPR compliant as well?
We have currently, that's a good question. We actually have submitted a grant proposal just last week to the Ministry of Research and Development in Germany for a depression research study for supplying services to private caretakers. And for this, there's actually a component in this research study where we are exploring specifically European ethical and legal standards around our technology. So far, we have been deployed to US hospitals only, and we are fulfilling all the HIPAA as well as human subject training standards and IRB standards, which are required in the US.
Thank you,
David. Thanks. We have to move
Pleasure.
next. Yeah. Stop sharing. And next startup is Health Mode and Jennifer.
Hey everyone, my name is Jen Goldsack. I lead, I'll introduce myself while I pull up my slides. Anastasia, you can see those?
Yeah, we see and hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Jen Goldsack. I lead strategy, portfolio, and ops at a company called Health Mode. We use latent digital tools that you'd find in your pocket, run analytics on the sensor data, and generate a variety of complex measures of health. And relevant to our conversation today, there are 3 key symptoms you need to monitor for COVID: fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Traditionally, there are 2 options for measuring cough. You can do self-report, which is very subjective with bias. And there's one objective option. If you can see my slides, there's a chap there, he's wearing a little fanny pack, and he has a variety of different wires all over his chest. There's a 24-hour monitoring tool that you can use, you then send back, and eventually that data is processed and you get a reliable 24-hour cough count. It's not continuous, and it's not real time. We've been developing for nearly a year now a continuous or user-triggered cough recording using a smartphone that nearly 70% of Americans already have in their pocket. And our original intention here, which we are still pursuing, is the use in clinical trials for respiratory medicine, for vaccines, and also to power more decentralized clinical trials. As the COVID outbreak hit, our whole team was committed to pivoting to make sure that we are extending our expertise and our product in the service of public health. And so right now we have several IRB-approved human subject research studies running in a variety of different regulatory regions across 3 different platforms: a smartphone app, a simple dial-in if you don't have a smartphone, and also a web portal version that allows simple cough counting using our analytics tool. And we also, in addition to using cough counting in and of itself as one of the primary measures of COVID-19, we're able to integrate this information with individual self-reported health information, so how they're feeling and any other symptoms, and also spatial and temporal data. So where were you, where have you been, and at what time? That gives us a really powerful insight into the different individuals who sign a consent and allow us to monitor their health status, their location, and their well-being. And I wanted to keep this presentation brief. I wanted to talk and field more of your questions. I also wanted to underscore that Health Mode is not a one-trick pony. Our cough counting technology is our flagship measure. However, we also have measures across a variety of different therapeutic areas. So in oncology, we are working on an objective assessment of pain. In GI, neurology, psychiatry, dermatology, and also we have a clinical trial innovation arm where we're working with a variety of partners on different ways to simulate deployed clinical trials. So we have a broad leadership team. I can give you some more details on the gang if that's interesting, but I wanted to use the bulk of our 6 minutes together to field your questions. And perhaps to seed that, I can suggest a number of different ways for not only the judges on the line, but also my fellow innovators to get involved. So please start donating your cough to science. If you or anyone in your life is experiencing symptoms, go to coughmode.com. You can immediately start tracking your cough and donating your cough to science. Help us spread the word. This could be incredibly powerful, not just for the crisis, but also for anyone battling a respiratory condition into the future as we develop this tool. So help us spread the word about our work here at Health Mode. If you're interested in partnering with us, either during this crisis to address the crisis, or if you're seeking to rescue a trial where you're expecting individuals to come into a clinic and that's no longer safe, talk to us. We have a variety of different digital tools ready to go right now. We've been incredibly busy and working with a number of extraordinary partners committed to keeping their trials going. We're also, and perhaps we'll have some questions on this, we're fundraising. We started our Series A.
Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, your time is up, and maybe let's, yeah, let's
questions.
Questions, yeah, just a great
question about your adoption model. Is it an application that the patient starts to use and then gets the doctor involved, or is it the other way around? And also, have you had any occasion to measure your costs of acquisition?
So the cost of acquisition during the COVID crisis is unknown at this point because we launched, crikey, within about 4 days ago. So we already have several hundred individuals who have enrolled, but it's thus far it's actually been largely all organic. We did some blog posts, we did some media interviews. We haven't spent anything yet. However, inevitably we will start spending, likely on social media advertising, but we're not there yet, and we've had some very good early luck with that. You also asked about sort of how folks come to our product. So it depends how we're deploying our product. Previously, we were utilizing it in a clinical trial setting. So we would work with the medical product sponsor who would include it as a tool in their trial, and that's how a trial participant would be exposed to the tool. We've flipped that model on our head with good success during this COVID crisis. And in this case, the individual can access the tool. We have a companion dashboard that they have full access to see how their cough frequency is changing over time. And we also have a way of sharing that back with their physician, whether they're doing a virtual visit, so that could help power triage at home, or whether it's another loved one or family member. You can download that report and you can share it, or you have it on the screen for your own self-tracking.
Hi, Jennifer. Can you hear me?
I can. Hey, Jules.
Yeah. Hi. So one of the biggest issues not allowing me to leave my house for the last 6+ weeks is we're not able to roll out testing. Is your solution going to address that? And if so, how soon?
Honestly, I think I would be overstating if this could replace testing. I think what we've come to realize is that there's a huge population of individuals who are COVID positive but are asymptomatic. So this isn't like the flu, for example. However, this, whether we're thinking as part of a public health surveillance initiatives, if we start to see hotspots, for example, of cough, that's a really powerful trigger in the absence of testing. Also, for individuals who are nervous, this gives them an opportunity to objectively track their cough over time. And it's easy to imagine a clinical visit with a nurse practitioner. It's a very different conversation to say, you know, I've been coughing a lot and I feel quite hot. That's very different to, hey, I've been tracking my cough for a couple of weeks and I've noticed it's increased threefold and I'm running a temperature. That's really helpful. That's really powerful. And so that's what we're aiming at. And I don't want to oversell this. This isn't going to be a PCR test, but this will be a very powerful tool in an armory when we are quite desperate.
So this is Jordan. So
just quick.
So
quick question.
What does it do? I mean, I'm still confused. What's the value proposition to the user?
So there's a variety of different use cases in COVID and beyond. So let's think about it. And I think the triage example I just gave is very helpful for COVID. So if the user is the individual, they can objectively track their symptoms in case they're nervous, especially if they're high risk. For example, they have a pre-existing condition. And if they see a spike, that can lead them to seek out care. It also helps them, if they do have a diagnosis, to manage themselves at home and make sure that their symptoms aren't exacerbated that may need in-person treatment. So that's one option. In the trials model, the value prop there is that we can continuously objectively monitor cough for the first time. Right now, there's a 40% of placebo effect observed in respiratory trials across the board. So whether that's COPD, whether that's lung cancer, whether that's asthma, whether that's allergies. There's also a third model, which I'm excited about in the longer term, which is imagine taking a drug to market that's intended to treat something like chronic refractory cough, and you could actually use the companion cough counter to help do real-time sort of dosing instructions. So if you're not having a terrible time with cough, we don't have to be blowing up your lungs with steroids, for example. If you're having, you know, if we see that your symptoms rise, we can actually administer the dosage better. And that leads to a reimbursement model as well, post-market, as well as being paid to deliver a measurement tool during the trial itself.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks. And we have to move next.
Thanks everyone.
For joining us. Yeah. And the next startup is Sandra Cardian. And David.
Are you, hey guys, are you able to see my screen?
Hi. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Good afternoon. My name is David Kim from Xander Cardian. We're a future-proof autonomous building control system by capturing real-time occupancy data based on individuals' physiological data. Human body emits a ton of data such as movement, sound, smell, micro vibrations, and this is how we determine presence and collect occupancy data all wirelessly. We use very unique technology called IRUWB, which is impulse radio ultra wideband, that sends out 50 million impulses per second, detecting micro vibration down to 0.1 millimeter of physical movement. We take micro and macro movement of people and process through our algorithm, and we're able to differentiate between human and objects. So we got 30 granted patents determining the presence of people using all radar signals. So basically, within any given indoor space where we know everything via vibrational patterns, no impact from sound, light, penetrate most of the objects, completely privacy-free, non-invasive solution that can detect and count people. We do collect, since we count, so even though you're kind of holding onto your breath, we know as long as your blood pumps and heart pumps, we know you're there. So we do have a smart building solutions that is also related to COVID as well as the health solution as well. Right now, which can be applied to a lot of COVID related use cases. COVID will change the way we live, and it already has. So even in the commercial office and retail spaces, a lot of large corporates are already preparing a different workspace to avoid any spread within the space by figuring out how to keep social distancing, separating in between the desk spaces, only walking clockwise and using a hot desk instead of an individual stationary desk, not allowing all employees to come at the same time. So in order for them to measure all that, they need real-time occupancy solution, and that's us. So we actually have various deployments around North America and as well as the Europe to help people, buildings monitor people for various solutions such as emergency evacuation and fire, social distancing, floor analysis, and space utilization. So I just want to quickly show you a demonstration of our older version of our UI. So here, the red means vacant, green means occupied, and the number that you see on top of green is a number of people in that certain zone. So, and we also implemented, this is actual deployment in Toronto, Canada, and this is 25,000 square feet. And those heart number and lung number that you see is the real-time data that you get all wirelessly, the radar installed inside the ceiling tiles. So that monitors individuals' health and stress level as well. And going into, just quickly bumping into, for example, boardroom, is there still, so there was a big emergency, fire drill emergency, and there was, in the real-time occupancy dashboard was able to determine how many people are still on the floor, so it was able to send an alert notification to security, and they were able to go and check. So basically, we have a contact list. We also have a, oh, sorry about that, there we go. So we also do have...
Time is up, just quick.
Sure, yeah, so we do also have a context health monitoring system, once again, that is accurate, 97% accurate to ECG and seeking for FDA approval right now using FDA EUA. So we have various deployments in the Schiphol Airport, Norway Airport, Zagreb. So we've been around for about, the technology's been there for about 9 years, and we incorporated our company 3 years ago. Then we're actively seeking for a Series A now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, David. Now, any questions from judges?
So what kind of hardware are you using?
So yes, it is called IRUWB. So hardware, we basically buy the chips, but we wipe out the algorithm. We embed our algorithm and sell it. So we assemble the kit. So we have a hardware and obviously recurring model as well.
And then what's it cost to set up a building of like 25,000 square feet?
Right, for example, so one of the sensor will count up to 650 square feet. So it depends on the model. We have different various models such as presence detection, people counting, in and out traffic counting, real-time counting, as well as object detection and heart rate, therefore, depending on the solution. But overall speaking, we're talking about $1.50 per square feet.
What are the terms of the Series A?
So basically, we successfully raised a 4 round of investment within 2 years of since our incorporation, 2.5 years, and we're seeking for a Series A, seeking for $10 million right now.
What is the largest use case?
Sorry, come again?
Now, sorry, Ala, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
How do you differentiate yourselves from other players in the market?
Of course, of course. The key players right here on the screen is Honeywell and Schneider. They use PIR, it's passive infrared monitoring. So they basically only capture macro movements. So how many times, you know, had a chance you're in the meeting room or in the bathroom, you're sitting down, just typing on the keyboard, making a very small movement, and after 15 minutes, the light goes off. So you got to do like big hand gesture to turn that on. But our system is ultra wideband that sends out 15 million impulses. So it basically can capture all your movement as long as you're breathing, or human person being. So it's got more better accuracy as well, right? So they can also all tie into building management BMS, PMS system. So our software is all available through API, a WebSocket connection for them to do a lot of different analytics based on smart building. We live in a, you know, a world of smart sensors, right? But what, like from smart thermostats to blinds to HVAC system, but what does that all mean without understanding the real-time occupancy within the building? And we have full deployment at the 59-story buildings, and that's been a great use case for us, as well as the full deployment in the shopping mall in Toronto and Vancouver.
What's your monthly burn?
Right now, we're a team of 12 and some of the advisors, but since we have the R&D lab in Korea, but we're a Delaware company and we operate in Hartford and Toronto, that our monthly burn rate is super low because of course the labor. The reason that we have the lab in Korea is CTO is a professor in University of Hanyang in Korea, and basically our burn rate's about 120 right now.
What about tracking growth? And also,
Sorry?
what about what does it take to commission such a system into a real setting? That is, what kind of technical people, and if they have to come from your company in order to install that system into an existing building, for example?
Right. So basically, we do have our engineer who can go out in the world, but obviously that's not the right model to scale. So therefore, we did partner with other companies in Europe and North America. For example, we got a partner company called Grasp in Netherlands, and they partner up with Securitas, one of the biggest security company in the world who manages a lot of airports. That's why we were able to get into the airports, and they do the full installation and obviously the calibration and the setup and full solution delivered.
What's your
largest use case
between
now?
animals and people?
Sorry?
Can you distinguish between animals and people?
Yes, so we get that question a lot. So with the any animal or human being, we can detect. But of course, the animal heart rate and human heart rate, the pattern is different, and there's certain patterns to it. So we're seeking into a new algorithm on that. So, but of course, please feel free to shoot me an email. We do have whole paper on these patent and journal publications, and we got 11 PhDs on our team, and yeah, we can provide more data moving forward.
Thank you, David. Thanks. Now we have to move next.
Stop sharing. Oops, sorry. Oops. Did I just stop?
And yeah, thanks. And next startup is RxLive. And
hey,
Mark?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Mark.
Apologies for the setting, but I have 2 boys under the age of 7 that are screaming in my house, so I'm in my car.
Yeah, I think all of us in the same situation.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. At RxLive, we are passionate advocates for the role of pharmacists actually outside of the pharmacy. And if you think about all of the clinical evidence out there, when pharmacists and patients spend time together, value for healthcare is created across 2 really important dimensions: the ability to reduce drug trend, and then the ability to reduce downstream medical costs like acute utilization. And so what RxLive is we are the first technology-enabled platform and nationwide marketplace of part-time pharmacists. And we're a platform-based business, and there's 4 or 5 different business models that can be wrapped around access between patients and pharmacists. Where we've started our journey is to integrate this clinical and virtual skill set directly into physician organizations to engage patients directly through referrals by providers. They then talk through telemedicine to both to the patients, both over phone and video. We've got a reimbursement model that is paid by Medicare and other commercial and Medicare Advantage plans, and then a business model that pays our pharmacists per consult, shifting all the operational risk to them. We've also built a technology platform at the same time that takes these 30 to 45-minute in-depth substantive conversations and collects a wealth of data around it, including clinical, behavioral, and genomic data. In our algorithms, we have 26 different reasons why you may be non-compliant with your medications. And then we use our algorithms to start to package up and customize patient and provider communications. We've integrated telehealth into that. And then we leverage the human cloud of our network of pharmacists to help us define and build protocols and eventually train our machine learning models and our algorithms. The market size for this type of pharmacy engagement is about $3 billion today and doubling to $6 billion over the next 5 to 6 years across a number of different channels, including provider, employer, pharmacy benefit manager, and others. And from a progress perspective, we're now live and operational and growing like a weed. We've grown 30% month over month for the past 5 months. We'll pass $250,000 in ARR this month. We've already exceeded our goals for this target, and then expect to double and triple the business in this particular channel over the rest of the year. We're delivering an outstanding patient experience where our net promoter is 76 and have got already enough contracts signed and ready for deployment to hit about $1 million in ARR by the end of the year. And the reason why we're starting to grow and have such success, and especially in this time of COVID, is we're driving a tremendous amount of value as well as important remote engagement for complex medication management and delivering an ROI of about 4 to 5x on the provider side. And in our very first employer pilot, delivering an ROI of 22x in terms of being able to reduce drug trend for a self-insured employer mini population. Our founding team, I'm from the Netherlands originally, but we're a couplepreneur, where my wife is a clinical pharmacist. I have a Harvard Business School background, but worked at a variety of healthcare, startup and larger organizations, as well as healthcare private equity. And we're supported by a phenomenal investing and advisory team. We've raised before. We've raised about $1.5 million to get the business to this stage. And we currently have a seed round that is open and would be delighted to talk to people about. So with that, I think I'll pause for any questions.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Mark. And any questions from judges?
Did I hear you right that you're right now focused on the Medicare market, or that is one of the markets that you're focused on?
It's one of the markets. We broadly think about the population as senior and then under 65, and there's different business models. And so we see the provider channel as the right way to engage the Medicare market, and the employer and other sort of population health or technology vendors as a way to engage the commercial and employer markets.
So can you shed some light on unit economics in terms of, you know, how much money gets paid to the pharmacist who's online?
Sure, yeah. So our revenue is anywhere between $60 to $100 per consultation, you know, and we typically pay our pharmacists around $30 to $35. And then we can supplement that model through eventual SaaS sales. We've also priced our data set to pharma at about $100 to $200 per data record. And so eventually we envision a model in which a number of different secondary revenue streams can really subsidize a growing network of patients and providers and return a lot of value to both physician stakeholders as well as others.
Got it. Thank you.
Which competitor are you most concerned with at this time?
You know, it's really interesting. One of the angels in our team, it was the first salesperson hired into Teladoc. And so we have a little bit of insight into how the telemedicine market is thinking about this. And we know that pharmacy is a niche that they're not serving right now. So if I were to say there's a group of organizations that provide telepharmacy services in a very unsophisticated way for the payer market, and those would be our principal competitors at this point in time.
I'm trying to understand a little bit more about these pharmacists because, you know, the only pharmacist I know is the guy at Walgreens.
Right.
And are you levered, you know, what group of pharmacists are you looking to leverage and where are they all hiding?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's actually an oversupply of pharmacists in the market today. And so what we're doing is we're turning the delivery of cognitive clinical pharmacy into a gig economy. So these are pharmacists that work at Walgreens and CVS, but it's a very shift work oriented profession. And so they have large swaths of time during the day. We also know that there's a lot of female pharmacists that are looking to step back and work part-time from home. And we provide an opportunity and a platform to monetize their skills in a much more clinically fulfilling way than dispensing pills at retail.
Who are your channel partners in terms of, you know, I guess, drug supply and such?
So we don't dispense drugs. What we're trying to do for the very first time is build a business model for the delivery of these types of pharmacy services that doesn't require the dispense. And so our channel partners are a variety of different technology platforms and vendors in the physician space. And then we have a large distribution agreement for the very first time in the employer space with like an on-site wellness clinic. And so we view whether it's TPAs and brokers or other wellness type platforms as ideal distribution partners for us across both channels.
Thanks.
This is Jordan.
Thanks.
I've worked with a
Okay.
group that did something analogous to yours. I think you're onto something pretty wicked. If you do well on the execution side, I would love to support you somehow. So find me when you can.
Great, thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Mark. And we are going next. And please, Mark, stop sharing your screen and we can move to the next.
There we go.
Okay, yeah, thanks. And the next startup is Siva Exchange Corporation and Anita.
Yes.
Hi, yeah.
Hi.
Okay, let's go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anita Bieberg, the CEO of Seva Exchange Corporation, and we are reinventing volunteerism. We empower social impact initiatives with a sharing economy platform that algorithmically matches volunteers' interests, skills to the immediate needs of nonprofits and local communities worldwide. Each year, 21 million volunteers quit out of boredom, frustration, or a sense of disengagement. Volunteer acquisition costs like background checks and training is why volunteer retention is important. Billions of hours are spent volunteering, which are not digitized, tracked, or valued, leading to a lack of actionable data to solve the billion-dollar rehiring problem. Our SevaX platform will help communities and organizations reduce churn and streamline admin costs to maximize donations' impact. We do this through algorithmic skills to needs matching and by offering globally tradable time credit Seva coins. In 2018, US nonprofits managed 63 million volunteers and took in $428 billion in donations and had $107 billion in admin costs, of which an estimated $13 billion for their volunteer retention efforts. We want to tap a market of 970 million volunteers worldwide. So in this pandemic economy, because that's what they're calling it, our platform is key to helping motivate youth stranded at home without constructive things to do, cash-strapped citizens, the jobless, the furloughed, who are all reevaluating what they do with their time and how they spend their money. So our time-based currency income can help balance out their lives and preserve valuable funds. Andrew Yang introduced time banking to his Yang Gang volunteers with our Humanity First app. Our SevaX app is engaging a wide range of partners such as the Poor People's Campaign in Anchorage, Alaska, International Domestic Violence Watch Group to promote community safety at this time, and CalCAPA to help out low-income communities in California. We sell subscriptions to our platform with freemium to low entry pricing options for communities and nonprofits, as well as high margin enterprise offerings to larger organizations. And we plan to include paid localized ads with coupons. Here's our team. Chairman Edgar Kahn is the inventor of time banking, who founded the nonprofit TV USA in 1995. I've spent a decade of managing enterprise software and mobile app development, and I'm a senior time banking fellow. Each of my amazing team bring decades of experience and have role and domain expertise. We are currently raising a $500K seed round of investment to scale our solution globally. We plan to make an aggressive play in this mostly overlooked but sizable market and emerge as a powerful leader in this space. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Anita. And now questions.
Can you talk about your matching algorithm? Like what other parameters you're considering?
I didn't understand the question. Say that again.
You mentioned like matching algorithm.
Oh,
of the volunteers and probably.
Oh, algorithm. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yes, we're working on a machine learning platform. So people could, well, when you log into our platform, which is downloadable at SaveX app right now, sorry, SaveXapp.com, you can download the app. Right now, it'll ask you for your interests as well as your skills, your availability, and things like that. You're allowed to list anytime you need something as a request. You can even offer things that you're interested in volunteering for. Right now, we already have groups in the town of Anchorage, Alaska. They were beta testing this. They're doing it now. We had to go much quicker because we were planning to do a time baking and a basic income pilot, but this pandemic hit. So now they're creating groups for mask making at home. They're going to do a blood drive. I mean, anything that they need to get people together, but they're not all like, obviously now it's not the traditional volunteering. So what's going on right now, I'm hearing from all these nonprofits is food banks are involved, but they can't get the same volunteers. They have to stick with the employees because they don't want to spread any of the virus. But we have a larger volunteer pool of people really wanting to help. So this is the time. So this is the perfect thing. Ours is not just volunteering with nonprofits, but it's helping the community by themselves. So we have examples of senior care for elderly people who want groceries delivered. They can say, hey, I need someone to get me some groceries, and they can put the list, and someone's like, I can go pick that up for you, and they can do a PayPal exchange or however. And same with childcare for essential workers. They need that. I wish we could have childcare, but I guess I'm not an essential worker.
Thank you for doing this.
Have you tried partnering with platforms like Nextdoor? Because there are a lot of people who are willing to volunteer during this COVID-19 season.
Yes, I have reached out to the chief neighbor. She hasn't gotten back to me yet. If anyone knows her, that'd be great. I'm actually wanting to partner with her on a separate initiative, which from the other partner, we have the International DV Watch, because right now cases of domestic violence and child abuse is gone up insane because they're all trapped at home. So we are engaging, and with our app, we're sending out flyers saying download this app, so it looks innocuous. It's like a volunteer thing. So hopefully the partner is not noticing, and we're going to have like some code word and something pizza, maybe order pizza, whatever that is. We haven't decided yet, but that'll be an international effort.
Thanks,
Siva, this is Jordan. So at some point, they're going to let us out of the house.
Yes.
How relevant are you after they let us out of the houses?
Well, we've started as a thing that is very relevant before, because we had nonprofits, the retention problem, as I mentioned in my pitch deck. They spend billions of dollars trying to rehire. So that will just go back. But right now, let me give you this scenario. It's the worst case scenario. This pandemic has already furloughed and cost, cash-strapped people. Imagine, you already see people going out and rioting or, going to these things saying, hey, I don't want to stay things. But what happens in the next stage when they're not getting enough money? And it can cause riots. There's youth out there who are not doing anything constructive. This is a way to help citizens still feel useful and in a very constructive manner. We want to help people, if they have to change their careers or whatever they have to do, we can do that. You can volunteer for the things you're interested in by saying, these are the offers I'm interested in, and then launch new careers if their if their old career is no longer valid.
Thank you, Anita. And we have to move next. And just quick reminder for judges, please vote. And if you still have any problem to get the link for voting, just let us know. Anna and Julia can help you. And I. So we are moving next. And our next startup is Remedy and Mark.
Can you see my screen?
Yet?
Yes.
We can see you, but not your screen.
Not the screen.
Yeah, please share it.
We're good now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Did you push the green button? Oh, yeah, now
We're
it's
good?
good. Yeah.
I apologize, sorry.
It's okay. Let's do.
All right. My name is Mark Lazarevic. I'm a physician and CEO of Remedy. And together with our biosignal analytics partner, Mavi, we've decided to tackle a very current and important problem. You get life-threatening arrhythmias from over 200 different medications, amongst them hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin. So this is not an endorsement for those drugs, yet many physicians use them. So they could cause life-threatening arrhythmias because of a prolongation of the QT interval. The three of the most prestigious cardiology organizations in the United States, the American Heart Association, American College of Cardiology, and Heart Rhythm Society, came up with a statement on April 8th about how we should deal with patients who take hydroxychloroquine and azithromycin. So 3 takeaways: to screen the QT interval, monitor it during therapy, and do not start the drug if the QT interval is over 500 milliseconds, or if it reaches 500 milliseconds during the therapy. The current solutions for obtaining the QT intervals are inconvenient, time-consuming, expensive, and in the case of an EKG operator who has to take the machine into a patient's room, the operator could obviously become infected. The QT Guard offers a solution which is AI-driven QT measurement. It's simple, convenient, automatic, accurate, and autonomous, which means you can get the patient can get immediate answers. And last but not least, it's under $100. These are the entire instructions. So we're going for simplicity. Hold to chest with the right hand because you want it on the left side of your chest. Hold it for 30 seconds and you get a green screen to take the next dose, or a red screen to stop and contact your physician. The system will give you a numeric value of your QT interval to share with your physician so they can decide what to do next. So our value proposition: safety, convenience, and reassurance for patients while on any drugs requiring heart monitoring, and obviously reassurance and significant decrease in anxiety in the doctors who are prescribing these medications. We're seeking $1.4 million for planning, development, prototyping, and validation of our device. We already had conversations with the FDA that were very positive. And because of our previous work in biosignal analytics, a lot of the software and hardware is ready. So we can submit our final application to the FDA in 4 to 6 weeks. Happy to take your questions.
Thanks, Mark.
Do you already have any clinical validation testing?
We are actually doing it right now. Our main project had to do with heart rate variability analytics. Our partner Mavi, which is a Ukrainian biosignal company, has done some risk-based EKG monitoring already. Their projects have been used in the Antarctic and in developing nations in Africa. So the project started 7 weeks ago. We completely put everything else on hold. So we are in the process of doing everything as we speak.
Now regarding the accuracy, how is that compared to, of course, you currently compare this with the traditional ECG signal measurement. However, what about like when you compare this to other such medical device regarding, for instance, how you filter out all this noise from that point? And the second question is, who owns the data? That's a quick question.
The data is owned by the patient. It's not transmitted anywhere. The device is autonomous, so the data stays on the phone. Okay. The data is not, this is one of, that's why I put that autonomous in red, because it's actually very unique. Pretty much every device currently available does not do it autonomously. They have to do it on the cloud, and somebody else actually has to manually measure it. We have a system that is completely autonomous, so the data stays on the phone. It's not transmitted anywhere.
An accuracy question?
We're within 5%. of the currently available machines. We're using V5 and V6 instead of lead 2. And we actually can correct for that. There is about a 5 to 10 millisecond difference between lead 2, which is considered the appropriate lead to measure the QT interval. But the second best is V5, V6. There's a 5-second difference, and we can create that factor. We can put that in to our system. So actually, we'll be even closer. We'll be within 1 or 2% of lead 2 on a regular EKG machine.
So I believe this is a single lead device
Yes.
that you will be having.
Yes, it is.
But generally people say that you need more leads to measure QT interval accurately. So how do you do that?
Well, this is the advantage we have working with a group that's been doing biosignal analytics, specifically heart rate variability, and plus a variety of other biosignal analytics, and they actually can do it. We have the algorithms already in place. We've compared them to lead 2 from 6 lead EKGs, and we've compared it to 12 lead EKGs. And as I mentioned before, without any accommodation to the fact that we are measuring it in V5, V6 instead of the classic lead 2, we're within 5%. And we can actually use software to even correct that 5% to put us directly into lead 2 territory instead of being lead 5, V5 and V6.
Thank you, Mark. And
Thank you.
We'll have to move next. Please stop sharing your screen and we can go ahead. Okay, so next startup is Red Lines and Sergio. Hi, Sergio.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Good. Okay, great. So how many times did you feel you left opportunities over the table when meeting new people? It's like, we want to help you to have a track record of every new connection, generating more and meaningful relationships. People can use business cards as in-person meetings are not allowed. Human behavior shift, right? So people are more connected, as we are now, but not connecting at a deeper level. And we'll meet in person again. Would you receive a piece of paper when actually avoiding shaking hands help you to stay safe? At the other hand, it's like we know as a fact that printed business cards was a waste anyway, right? Red Lines is an application where users manage a private profile to share their contact information remotely or between devices, generating a cloud always updated Rolodex connected with your CRM system, generating enriched metrics from every interaction you are doing.
Excuse me, Sergio, we can't see your presentation go on. It's just first slide.
Now?
No.
No, it's not there.
No, it's still first slide.
Just the first one gets stopped?
Yeah, just first one.
Oh. Now? I didn't do anything. I don't know.
Why don't you unshare and share again real quick?
Yeah, maybe it's that. Yeah, you're right. Hold on. Yeah, stop sharing. Let's try it again. Now you're there.
So make it full screen and maybe it will be better.
Yes.
Can you try to switch slides?
Now in the second, third one.
No, we can't see it. We tested it yesterday. What happened today, Sergio?
It was great. So if it's not full screen, you can see the second one?
We can see, yeah, we can see. Okay, yeah, now it's second.
Yeah? Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Better, guys? Sorry about that.
Do it.
So this is the second one. People can't use business cards anymore. Yeah, meetings are not allowed. Human behavior change, and we are more connected, but not connecting. And when we are going to meet in person again, we are going to receive a piece of paper when actually we are avoiding like shaking hands. And the other side, we know like printed business card was kind of like a waste of money. RxLive is an application where users set a private profile to share their contact information remotely or between devices, generating a cloud always updated Rolodex. We connect that to your CRM system, generating enriched metrics from every interaction. $1.2 billion were spent in printed business cards in the US before the pandemic. And on the same side, 19 billion were spent in 2018 for acquiring consumer online data. The US workforce is around 160 million employees, and there are 260 million smartphones just in the US and 2.87 billion worldwide. And eventually every single one of them have to share their contact information, right? Global pandemic opened a huge opportunity by wiping out paper business cards, and today technologies and platforms match the needs for a truly digital exchange of information, like to make it happen. We generate a constant flow of income through a software as a service business model in a B2B space, charging licenses annually per employee, selling different options and packages, professional services and templates. We have like a big vision. We believe that every person is much more of what they do for a living, and different platforms are just showing a very narrow facet. And as an agnostic solution, we have the power to integrate all of those platforms for our users' benefit. Our team learned how to do things at reference of different markets as Apple, Medallia, Remax. We went through 3 IPOs, 1 exit, many years of combined experience in the required fields. We achieve a lot, investing our own money and time, which is hard. We get to a point when we need business partners. So we are looking for 500K to keep moving and to achieve our next task.
Thanks.
So if you pull your camera, yeah, you can like just take a picture of the QR code and you can land in my RxLive profile. And thank you for your time and open for questions.
Okay, any questions?
Speechless.
Hi, Sergio. This is Jules.
Hey. Hi,
Can you hear me?
Jules.
So I'm an old school guy. I'm embarrassed to admit it. I have 7 Rolodexes on my desk. I don't know. I have like 5,000 LinkedIn profile, connections. How are you selling to me? I feel like I'm your market, and I'm not clear on what your product is and how you're going to convert me.
Perfect. I think you tell like 2 touch bases, like perfect for us. First, like all of those Rolodex, all of those business cards you have at your desk, they're not going to be updated, right? They're like stock. When that person give that to you, this is it, right? If somebody change, it's not going to be updated. Our solution take all of that to the cloud. So every single contact information is always updated, always available from your every device you want to access. On the flip side, LinkedIn, first and foremost, is not developed for sharing contact information. It's for you to explore your job site. I mean, you're like, what do you do for a living, right? Our approach is more wide and open. We truly believe that all of us have different facets. You remember if you are old school, the Rubik Cube from the 80s? All of us, we have like different facets, yeah? You are a startup, you're a dad, you have some hobbies. So we have this approach that we believe that we can encourage and improve and create more meaningful relationships if we take many of our sites and bring all of them together, but at the same time in a private way, right? Because when you share your contact information with me, it's a private exchange of information. I'm not going to post your contact information on LinkedIn or Twitter, right? It's a private exchange of information, and we want to keep it in that way. The fact that we can start bringing together many social media together, you have the access and you have the chance to share with me your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever you want to share, and it's just with me, right? This is something that any social media can do. They just have to be aware of what they do inside their bubble. And that's kind of like their value, right? Like Facebook has this value is like for selling or targeting people inside their bubble. We are agnostic. We are not social media. So we have the chance to integrate all the social media, all the communications channels you want to use to communicate with people, or that you want to let open for people to communicate with you. That makes sense, Jules? Yeah, it's a broader vision.
How do you get my 7 Rolodexes onto Redline? Do I have to start from
Sorry,
scratch?
you cut off.
How do I get my...
Oh yeah, now I heard. Yeah, we just cut off. Well, the idea, we are working right now, so you're going to be able to integrate and have like to synchronize all your accounts, and it's going to be your reservoir of contact information from all your social media, all your contacts, all the way just in one place.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Sergio.
Companies.
Thank you, guys.
Maybe just quick question, yeah. If you.
Okay, very important.
Sergio, there's 320 some other companies doing what you're trying to do. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. First and foremost, nobody achieved like traction enough to make it happen, right? It's like
so
some people
there's a
will
whole
be
long line of dead companies trying to do that. What's the difference?
Yeah, totally. Well, I would say first and foremost, we try to we start actually there, Jordan, trying to understand what happened, why they didn't succeed, what we are trying to do right now. And actually there were like very interesting acquires by LinkedIn, by Google, by Comcast, actually. They bought those companies in the past, like 3-4 years ago. The cloud wasn't there. A viable technology wasn't there. And what we are doing right now is having a go-to-market approach that is kind of like super different of what our competitors are doing. They didn't have a business model. They didn't target a B2B space. They have to they want to give like this free user thing or just like sign, but companies give you business cards, right? So we are targeting a B2B space, and we are targeting a long run B2B to C space when we can match offer with demand. That's, we can chat about it's a long story, like the big vision.
Okay.
But we are yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sergio. And we have to move next. And because of internet problem, next startup rehab marker can't join us. So we are moving next for 10th startup, and it is Safe, Stamp, and Matt. Hi, Matt. I see you here, yeah. Matt, we can't hear you.
You have to press space bar to talk. Yeah, right now.
It's sharing the screen.
Okay, yeah.
Great. My name is Matt McGuire, and I'm here to talk about Safe Stamp. All right, every year, 1 million people die from fake drugs. These drugs are sold at pharmacies around the world. They look like the real thing. They smell like the real thing. They're packaged like the real thing, but they are in fact fake, and they cost pharma firms $200 billion per year. It's especially relevant now because most of the people that die from fake drugs actually die from fake vaccines. And there's already been fake COVID treatments out there, counterfeit COVID treatments out there. So it's really imperative that we solve this counterfeiting problem before the COVID vaccine's out, so we can all get out of quarantine here. So what we developed to handle this is called a Safe Stamp. This is what it looks like, this circle thing. It's a nanotech indicator. You breathe on it, it glows. You touch it, the glow changes color. This glow is based off an advanced quantum property that we discovered that stems from how how waves and matter interact to create light and energy. It's a really, really brand new science and exciting stuff, and it makes it very difficult to be replicated by counterfeiters. So if it's on your product packaging, like as the example shown, you know your product is real because the counterfeiter couldn't make it. And it can go on like that, or you can go on like this on the outside of a box. And as this slide shows, it can go on anything, not just pharmaceuticals. And there's projected to be over 1.6 trillion in counterfeit goods sold this year. It's an insane problem. We're patent pending in over 60 countries. And our business model is simple. We sell these indicators to pharma firms and other firms to allow them to recapture that 200 billion and others in lost sales. A huge reason that this is such a big problem right now is a lot of people are doing something called track and trace. So like a blockchain app or some where you can test and measure where it is through every node of the supply chain. The problem with that is the retailers often go straight to the counterfeiters. So if they never put in a purchase order, these track and trace apps don't help at all. There are end user technologies, things where the patient can test, like SafeStamp, but every single type has been counterfeited. Perhaps that's why this gentleman said we were by far the most clever and innovative solution he's ever seen. I do have that in writing. We've won a slew of awards. We're very proud of that. We attended the White House on the president's birthday. I would add that was the last president. We've got millions. Actually, our pre-orders are even larger than the number on here. I haven't updated it yet. And major multinational firms have reached out to us and called us innovative, exciting, and said they want to start us on a whole country level. So all of India, all of China, or all of Brazil. We have an amazing team. I'd love to email you the details about it, matt@safestamp.com, and investor return. So these are extremely conservative estimates because they only deal with pharma projections. They don't deal with the myriad of other applications of this product. And they also are based off of a $25 million valuation, and you still get 10x returns. That's for a future round that's almost already committed. Right now, we're doing a quick round so we can go to market as quickly as possible and fight COVID at a much lower valuation. We have 1.15 million left in that round. And I'd encourage you to reach out and help me on my mission to save millions of lives by ending pharmaceutical counterfeiting.
Thanks, Matt. You can just quick finish.
So can you help me to better understanding the mechanism? So is that does this mechanism can only be applied to certain type of the drugs that already add a certain code or tag or color with it?
Good question. It's a universal indicator. So it looks like that little circle that we had up there. I should reshare the screen, but I won't. It's a little circle with a fingerprint on it, and you breathe on it and it glows. You touch the glow, changes color. And because the quantum science behind making this glow is so advanced, a counterfeiter couldn't make it. So we'll only sell to authentic sources. And if your medicine has this, you know it's an authentic source.
Can it be removed?
So no, the way we're fixing it, no. It'll destroy the seal to remove it.
I still don't really quite follow. So for instance, if you are having some OT, well, just some any pill,
right?
How do you detect that?
Right. So you just other way. It goes on the medicine packaging. It can go on the outside of a box, or it can go on the blister pack. And in most countries, they don't do pill bottles; they do blister packs. So you would just breathe on the indicator and touch the indicator and notice the glow changing color and know it's real. Or it can go on the outside of a box or a bottle of baby food. There's tons of a box, an Apple iPhone box. We have a lot of contracts with beverage companies. We go in that little plastic seal around the lid, and that's how you test.
Maybe I'm not clear, I apologize. So it just glows a color. Why can't I just produce a complete garbage sticker that just glows a color?
You could, well, a color change is possible. Glowing is a little harder. It's a very bright and distinct glow, and people know to look for it. And also the breath and finger trigger are quite unique.
Right, but if I just get it to glow by putting pressure on it, then I'm just bypassing the whole mechanism.
That wouldn't be the breath.
So the trick is that it's activated by breath. And since you're the only one that figured out how to get it to activate by breath, I know if I breathe on it and it glows, that has to be the right indicator. Is that the idea?
Well, we are going to market with a touch only first. And the touch only is very strong because the glow is very distinct. So that glow would be hard to replicate. But yes, the breath is, we're tiering our pricing. So the breath is a more advanced anti-counterfeit mechanism.
Okay, I think I understand, because there are things I can touch now with a little bit of pressure that do glow. So it's distinctively, I have to know the right color or glow type then for the finger.
Yes, you do have to know that. But what's great is everyone we've talked to, they want to handle the consumer education part of the budget. I thought that was going to be a big challenge for my startup, but they all want to handle it themselves, my customers. Even that said, I've still allocated part of my budget to handle it, to double handle it myself. You know, I believe what's not your fault is your problem.
Thanks, Matt. And
Thank
we
you so
have
much,
to
guys. I
move
really
next. Yeah, thanks. So we have 2 more to go. So please, judges, vote in, and we wanted to know who will win today. So, and the next startup is Z2Med and Sanjun.
Yeah, this is not a typical investor pitch presentation. It is rather a briefing session of our mission. We are fighting against the coronavirus, which is RNA virus. I'm Sajun, a professor of bioinformatics, teaching DNA and RNA analytics at Johns Hopkins University Graduate School. As experts in this field, myself and my colleagues decided to enlist on this war. Let me first tell you about us, Z2Med. For the last 4 years, 2 Johns Hopkins faculties and 4 graduate students, we built the genetics-based clinical decision support system. So when you type the signs and symptoms like this, it returns the underlying diseases. So that's that diagnosis support system. For the medications, when you want to prescribe certain medications, it tells you whether this is the right medication for this patient or not. So what we like to do is we can leverage Z2Med's clinical decision support system to contribute to the solutions to help the fight COVID. Why does the COVID sniper need it? Because people die pretty quickly for some people, and no second chance to try different drugs. And also physicians, there are like 30 publications daily for scientific journals. It's impossible to catch up. So what does COVID sniper do? COVID sniper considers genetics, medical history and physical, and testing results, and recommends the most effective drug with the least side effect with the right dosage and delivery form with the evidences. Z2Med clinical decision support system is already built and beta tested with 30 people and to be provided to an entire country of 20% of the population in Europe, and partnered with UK Genomics England. It considers 16,000 disease data and over 170 FDA drugs. Now, for the COVID sniper, we only need to consider 1 disease and less than 30 drugs. So we can do this within 1 month. The process is pretty easy, quick and easy. Check history and check blood test result and genetics, and then you get the recommendation and the evidences. What is the channel to provide this? Medicare or local government for the developing countries, NGOs, hospitals, and insurance and employers. It's a SaaS model. We have a pretty strong team. Z2Med COVID Sniper is raising 150K. I just do the work for the 1 month because all the platform is already developed. We are just applying it to 1 disease. And we're welcoming any convertible notes, safe, or any corporate donations in any form. Now, we are worrying about the coronavirus second wave. So people are developing vaccines and drugs. So, but maybe it's the right time to think about giving the right COVID drugs to the right people. So that's what the COVID sniper is. Thank you.
Thank you. And any questions?
So do you have your own blood test, or do you use the conventional blood testing that is done for clinical DNA analysis?
Yeah, for DNA analysis, we can just use the fingernails or the blood. And also for the regular blood test, we can just, hospitals using pipeline, they already have the result in the electronic health record system. We can just use that.
What do you do with $150,000 these days?
Oh, we just apply to the one R&D basically, applying, get some physicians and summarize all the 5,000 COVID drug-related research results and build a custom COVID-related clinical decision support system specific for the COVID.
What do you do afterwards? What's the next financial raise for you?
We want to provide it to the entire whole global world, and then we probably need to keep update with the database. So we probably need some more analysts, the physicians.
Are you a US-based company?
Sorry?
Are you a United States company?
Correct, yes.
Why don't you contact me for some grants and so forth this afternoon, please?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
And what do you replace? What are people using today in terms of process or methodology that you're replacing?
Oh, that's a great question. People are using their own knowledge, and they use the physicians don't have time to read all the papers, so they use the up-to-date or Hippocrates, those summarized version of the cases. But you need to read carefully the medical literature. So we are basically custom providing, hey, for this particular patient, this drug is the right one. So that's the difference. Those articles, they just provide the summary of the findings. But what we are doing is, for this personal, this is the right drug because blah, blah, blah.
So you're a rapid decision process.
Correct. And
using most up-to-date clinical information.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So is it only rapid decision making based on clinical information, or do you also try to do DNA analysis to match with that information which is available in the journals?
Oh, very good question. Yes, it's not just rapid. Yes, it is rapid, but also we provide a whole lot of the scope, and also we provide the deep analytics into RNA and DNA. It's RNA virus. So whether it has the envelope or these things, it's associated with immunoglobulins, interleukins. All these things are considered.
Okay, got it.
Thank you. Thanks. And we are moving next. And the next startup and the last one, known Rx, and David.
Hello, thank you. Okay, I'm David Franklin with KnowRx. KnowRx is a mobile application that allows patients and physicians to simply and efficiently manage medication treatments for better outcomes, adherence. So today, with patients in the healthcare systems, they're failing to take their medications as prescribed, one of the most serious problems and long-standing challenges in healthcare. On average, there's 13 minutes a physician has with their patients. In this time, 80% of these visits results in a prescription. 50% of these prescriptions are not adhered to correctly, and 24% of those are not even picked up. The resulting problem is astounding. 125 million readmissions, 110,000 patients die annually. The costs continue to go up and the quality of life decreases. But it's also a human problem. This problem is that we're busy. Both the physician and the patients are busy. And patients coming out of these visits and leaving their pharmacists, they are confused because of their busy schedules. They end up staying sick and they don't take their medication as prescribed. Doctors don't intervene because they're not aware of what's happening in real life. Our solution at KnowRx, again, connects the physician to the patient and the pharmacist. For the patient, they receive real-time alerts, patient education from their providers, and they build trust and reestablish that relationships with their care teams. The physicians gain insight in real time about the drugs that are being prescribed and what their patients are doing, and they reduce their burnout. And together, we have healthier patients, we reduce readmissions costs, and we save cost overall. Our solution from a medication management standpoint provides performance intakes on the drugs, scheduling, most importantly, accountability, and this is one of our differentiators. So when you miss a medication, your loved one will be notified. We also have complementary services around nutrition and wellness and holistic point of views where we incentivize and reward the patient. Due to COVID, we've been able to accelerate new features and bring out an application that's coming into market called Individual Health Insights that allows patients to track vital signs and symptoms objectively, connect with telehealth or their primary care, receive feedback, provide continued updates, and the notification to advance care at the most appropriate time in a safe environment. We are passionate about healthcare. Again, I am David Franklin. I'm a Navy Gulf War veteran. I've been in technology post-Navy for 22 plus years. My co-founder, Dr. James Powell, has 22 years as a clinical research executive in the biopharmaceutical industry. As you see below as well, our board team is very strong and positioned to help us grow. Our target audience are females 28 to 58-year-olds. And again, we're addressing 50% of those prescriptions that are not adhered to. This results in a $350 billion industry problem annually. Here's our path to market of communicating and acquiring customers through community care centers, pilots, health advocacy groups, how we keep customers and staying competitive. Our business model is a SaaS subscription model. It's a free application to the clients or to the consumer, and it's a subscription model based off cohort size to the provider, health institutions, or CROs. We do have competitors in the space, so the space has been validated, and we differentiate ourselves in our philosophy of keeping patients first, incentivizing, rewarding them, having accountability, and newer technology. Our current traction, we were recently received an innovation award for South by Southwest as one of the finalists, Startup of the Year finalists, Rice University Veteran Pitch finalist, Hofstra University Veteran Pitch, and we're moving into pilots. We're also a pre-seed accelerator graduate from Founders Institute.
Thanks.
We're seeking $500,000.
Yeah, time is up, sorry, but you can finish quickly.
That's the last slide. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So, any questions?
Report abstraction is not really, cannot be really considered abstraction. Do you have user traction or anything to introduction to actual healthcare systems? Do you have an idea of the length of the sales cycle?
Yeah, we understand the length of the sales cycle on the provider side. We've been able, with COVID, we're actually in a transition. So to answer your first question, no patients, no providers. We were in the process of rolling out our medication management into a pilot. And then with COVID, the provider pilot changed and our focus changed as well. And we're introducing Individual Health Insights, which is a free app for patients as well. And that's about to go under security review. We have spoken with providers, physicians, and consumers around this application to roll it out next month.
David, this is Jordan. I'm not sure people got it because I talked to you at length. Can you give us a 15-second use case real quick?
So the use case from the medication management standpoint, a patient will go to the physician, they will order the medicine, we're in that supply chain, so we get not only that medication prescription, but 12 months of it, and then we simply help you manage your medication routine, and we have accountability services, and we provide that engagement interaction with your physician, and through our machine learning algorithms, the physician can benchmark and understand how that drug's performing in real time, not just with his patients, but nationally or globally as well.
And your revenue model?
The revenue model is selling into the providers, health institutions, and CROs, and it's based off the cohort size that they want to monitor and engage with.
What's your next key milestone in the next 6 months?
Securing 2 pilots That's our main objective right now as we come out of security review, like with Apple, to get the application published. We have a waiting list of consumers, and we have physicians waiting to use it as well.
I think people are just tired, David. Don't take it personal.
No, it's good.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Now, I can elaborate that our due to COVID, which a lot of this is around being able to bring in earlier features and to spin off the individual health insights, will then allow the patient to be able to upgrade to a premium version of medication management. So it was an unforeseen revenue stream there that came into play.
Okay, thanks, David. Thanks.
Thank you.
All startups for joining us today, and thanks all judges for your time. And yeah, hope you have some more.
That's great, guys. Yes, the startups did great. The judges are doing great, but not everybody finished voting. Please do finish. So Anastasia will have a chance to announce who is going to our Silicon Valley finals this year. Hopefully that you will straighten out everything that's going on in California and we have a chance to join you all.
I assume you don't want us, I'm sorry, you don't want us to vote on the one that skipped rehab, I think?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, the one that had a technical problem and couldn't join us. Yeah, there is no need to vote for him. Yes, it was switched off, right, guys?
Yeah, we switched off that.
Okay.
You can reload your page.
That's cool. Yes, so please do vote and let's have a little chat. Please tell us. Alexander, you're with us?
Yes, Anna, yes, hello.
Yes. Maybe we should ask how is it going on the other side of the ocean? How's an investment deal flow? Is it
yeah, just we have a few minutes before Anastasia finish our voting, and I would like to tell you that in our ecosystem we decided to create a VC club for our judges, for VCs who will have possibility to exchange deals. And the only strict rule for this club will be that if you wanna invite some other VCs to your deal, you should invest yourself. So probably it will be a good source of deals for everybody. So if you're ready to lead or you're ready to follow, please, we invite you to our club. It's free of charge. And so probably it will the world easier for us, because if somebody has already decided to invest, so we should look at this deal probably. So yes, Nastya, do we have results?
So yes, we have results, and let me just one sec.
Okay.
So, and I would like to announce the third place goes to Modality.
Woohoo! David, congratulations.
So, and the second place goes to Xandra Cardian.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Super.
Who is the first?
And yeah, the first one goes to RxLive.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Congrats. And
wonderful.
Yeah, this startup will receive this certificate and the free ticket to pitch at our Unicorn Cup finals at July, I hope.
Exactly. Hopefully at July, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so now, and we have another winner.
Oh,
the
yes,
voting
exactly. Yes,
uncertainty.
guest voting. Yes, Alexander. You're right as always. And let me hold on a second. Yes. And we have a winner, and a winner is Seva Exchange Corporation. Congratulations. Yes, you received all the likes from our guests.
Good.
Okay. And
Yes.
Nastya, can you please publish the results so it will be on our
It is
page?
already published. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
if,
I
if
just
your event
reload.
page, yes, you just need to reload it if your event page is
Yeah,
showing
but
something
I did
else.
it, and I
It is
don't see
published.
it yet.
Mhm. I
I
do.
don't see it.
I do.
Yeah.
I reloaded and I do.
Only one that matters, Alex, in case you did not notice.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, we have a time for networking. It's really not so easy as for offline event, yeah, but we are thinking really to implement a virtual reality for networking, and really I was trying yesterday or 2 days ago probably one solution for this, so probably in the near future we'll go after that to virtual reality and can talk to each other in another space, in virtual space, but still we can talk here. And probably I would like to ask you guys if you really believe that the venture capital industry can influence the situation with coronavirus, or this is a game for big corporations and government. What do you think?
Can you ask the question differently, Alex?
I have an answer already to that question. Sorry, Jordan. But I think, David beat Goliath. I think we're smaller, we're agile, we can make decisions quicker. We don't have to worry about bureaucracy. We don't have to worry about paperwork. I think we have not only can startups do it better than big corporations, I think we have advantages over big corporations, especially my startup, which you can reach out to at matt@safe.com.
Thank you, Matt.
Jordan?
Alex, are you asking? Restate your question differently, if you will, please.
Do you really think we can influence this situation? I mean, startups, venture capital, VCs, yeah, this situation with coronavirus, or we just can talk about it and our influence will not be really great?
Corona isn't going away. This is going to be with us for the next multiple years, whether it's Corona 19 or 20 or 21 or 22, something will happen. At our level, I think we can serve what we have always done, create an impetus, a seed for innovation, and in some cases, be able to have an impact on the big picture. I think the big companies will come looking for people like us for those golden nuggets. So the answer is yes, but it's not going to be Uber-like. It's not going to be WeWork-like. It's not going to be Airbnb. It's going to be incrementally useful in certain places.
So you're inclining that our lives have changed for good. We will never.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I come from the country of Jordan. We used to have cholera every year. And we would have to take shots and wash clothes and do everything different for years and years and years until they created this vaccination that immunized most of us from cholera. This is going to be with us, in my opinion, for multiple years, and this virus is going to evolve, so heads up. So for us as innovators, I think we're in a position to make an influence, but we have to work hand in hand with the big boys because they really wield the big influencing levers.
I would totally agree, Jordan, and especially working in plug and play, where we connect both big corporations with the startups. We can see that appetite from the big corporations is very, very big in terms of innovations and how startups can actually help them, because startups have the innovation and the brightest ideas. And for corporates nowadays, it's very, very important to see. And they are very close and open for the collaborations.
I think from my perspective, I really think we have a role to play, and our role is really to enable experimentation at scale. Like every startup is an experiment in itself. But of course, once we move into to be able to have a very large impact and scale the solution, then we have to link into the large corporates and the governments, etc.
Exactly. And there are many more questions than only health issues, right? And health, yes, issues, it's to bigger corporations, but all the other like questions of business surviving, people having their own little problems, and there we can pitch in, right?
Yeah, like a hairdresser that's a robot in your home. And I'm not being silly. I'm not being silly, but Alex, in your platform, because you have such an international reach, you have an opportunity to create miniature consortiums to solve some of these micro problems by bringing in startups together. And I'm convinced people like you could actually make a big impact if it's done in a way where you harness energy and then direct it.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan.
I agree.
If anyone has something to say, yeah, it's time now. So on any topic about venture capital, startups, today's event, so please.
Yes,
I want to ask Dr. Ellie about what she thinks about Alex's question. Ellie, you come from a different angle. You come from a very different perspective. Ella.
Is she with us still?
Yes, yes, Ella is
Yes,
with
she
us.
is. She's just on mute and she's smiling.
Yes, no, I have been thinking from venture, it's definitely really important, actually, especially during this time when the healthcare seems to become the focus of all the, all the field, including, of course, also the VC. And when you're looking at all this R&D perspective, a lot of great genius idea and also research project, the reason it's abandoned long before they get a chance, before they get a chance to make to make into the market is because of the lack of funding. So therefore at this time we're really important. And also actually I'm also thinking, since I would love also to consider opportunity in one point to have my own healthcare fund at one point. And this is probably also, well, I don't know, maybe some good opportunity to also trying to get the support from the whole community, and then to as a feedback to help the companies grow.
Thank you.
And one of the points that I would like to mention is that healthcare is a beautiful space and it's great to invest in. However, there are so many startups now, especially in this timing, they are having a difficulty of access to fund in different industries. And I think as an investor in any fields, from accelerator to VC to angel investors, we are creating that momentum that either we decide to invest to create the economy moving forward, or we create the fear of investing and create time for turmoil and stagnation and keep not the economy moving forward. So it's on our hand to help the startup in this tough time to survive, and they keep moving forward. And I think it's very important role to play.
See, one of the things that I'm doing is heads down, trying to help startups find new opportunities. So I'll give an example. There is a construction startup that I have where we do computer vision for construction companies. And what has happened is the companies are now asking us to implement on top of it a layer of social distancing as well as mass detection. Okay, so this is one example. The other startup of mine, where we used to do event management. Now you can imagine what happens to event management, right? So we have completely virtualized the event management in a way that taking concerts, live concerts onto this platform. And the beauty is, you know, we are enabled this entire platform so that the live action can be seen as if they're performing right there on the stage. Okay, so these are the kind of things to come. And there is, I don't know if all of you have seen, there was a chart published by Deal Room on how the startups, what kind of startups are going to change. Let me just share it briefly here for the benefit of everybody. And so this is the chart that really tells you, you know, what are the structural or the permanent changes that are likely to occur, and what are the cyclical changes, you know, which are temporary in nature. So you can see the economies that are getting hit very badly. You can see the economies that will do well: telehealth, collaboration, online groceries, meal kits, you know, streaming, music, online education, and so on. You can see what's getting hit, like car sharing, sharing economy, and so on. But I think, you know, the gig economy is going to survive in a different way, because the gig economy, like Fiverr, you see Fiverr is suddenly seeing a boost there, right? Where other gig economies are failing, because people need this to use people not on an employment basis, but on a gig basis, to cut down on that cost and survive through the economy. So this is my 2 cents, basically.
Dear, would you paste that into the chat for everybody? That
Yeah,
little
the link,
chart?
please. Yeah, thank you.
And we'll pay you a penny per click.
How?
Crypto.
Crypto penny.
That would be like a very good like business model, Jordan. Maybe you're like into something there.
Roman, what do you see happening in your neck of the woods? Anything on your side?
I'm the only Roman here, I suppose.
Yeah, probably.
Well, we were we're joking between ourselves that while the rest of the world has lived last, or most developed part of the world has lived the last maybe 50, 70 years in a situation where crises would be happening once in between like 10 years, and the stability would prevail. We were living in our part of the world, you know, where crises would prevail over stability. We would have short periods of stability where we would enjoy, and then so we became so kind of adjusted and agile to kind of continuously changing situations that coronavirus is not really, you know, something that is blowing our minds here, and we see by people's reactions. It's just that the rest of the world kind of is, for a change, in a similar situation. So to that effect, you know, what we see happening is same tendencies as in the rest of the world, you know, and at the same time we see that you know, the entrepreneurs are adjusting very quickly, are trying to find and adjust their own, you know, solutions and technologies to the new challenges. And this is inspiring, because sooner or later, you know, once some smart ideas are scaled, and I agree with people that were, you know, positive on venture capital and overall and innovative effect that could travel, you know, to the maybe to the bigger organizations to have a scaling effect that would, you know, affect and make an impact on to the world.
Exactly. Great. I see Jim join us. Hi, Jim. Hi, you can unmute yourself. You can press the space bar.
Ah, there. Okay.
Yeah, wonderful. What do you think?
This is
Are
about
we influencing the future by what we are doing?
in other words, how do the question is how we can best influence the future?
No, whether VC industry really influences the future of mankind surviving this crisis.
Absolutely. I feel that we can. I mean, you know, I can talk about one or two of our deals, that would be commercials. That wouldn't be good. But, you know, if it may show what things are really valuable now. You know, there's a number of things that, you know, I mean, water is really valuable. In India, water is really important. It's underpriced, but it's very valuable. And that doesn't really play in coronavirus, but health is valuable. There's a lot of things that are valuable that maybe weren't as appreciated. And as VCs, if we can bring those companies along until the value is appreciated, that can be a great thing for the world. And, you know, we hope to make money at it too.
Exactly. That's good. But
so yeah, I wouldn't want to, I mean, I could do a commercial in one or two of our companies, but that wouldn't be good.
You can do it in
yeah,
chat. You can do it in chat.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Hey, Jim, just to look at it from another perspective, is it maybe like in contrast, are we viewing them though as sort of overvalued right now? Because it's obviously we're all going to be out of this someday. So are we potentially valuing companies higher, like to your point on sort of the companies that are delivering more value now, as opposed to some of the ones that we can sort of buy at the bottom that aren't performing well, but will perform well in, 3 months or 4 months?
I agree with that. I mean, for example, I guess it depends on our view of the virus. If it is taken care of pretty much in 3 months, then it's possible to overvalue things that would address, viruses right now. I mean, that's definitely possible. We're not a life science, it's too difficult.
No,
for
I
us
just
to go
threw
there,
3 months out there. I'm not any
but
position to say, it's I
Yeah.
know it's going to take a while to kind of get everything
Right.
back to normal. But
absolutely.
once it does,
I absolutely agree. And I mean, yeah, we have to look 5 and 10 years out. So, I tend to think that the virus will be somehow addressed within some number of, reasonable number of months, and that we'll go back to something close to normal. So, but I could be wrong. I mean, so yeah, I agree with that point. Absolutely.
But I think too, it's weeding out some of the weaker startups that didn't have the cash on their balance sheets, that didn't prepare for a lot of these things. And, I think, they waited too long. They didn't have the foresight, and, you don't even need foresight to have, rational cash reserves, but, it's unfortunate for some of them to have to learn the real hard way, but
yeah, I mean, to that point, we do deep tech hardware, physics and chemistry based hardware. It's very unpopular. We think we have some great companies, but most people don't appreciate it. I mean, software is the flavor of the day, and a lot of the software companies, it turns out, they have high sales and marketing costs, which leads whereas our deep tech hardware companies much lower. It turns out you could say there's more risk, but lower. And so sometimes they're cash flow negative. And, we do believe, I mean, it's been 10 years since there's been a downturn, and now there is one. And, in downturns, cash flow positive is appreciated. I mean, I remember in the year 2000, in 1999, people were saying profits doesn't matter, eyeballs matter. And I was almost convinced that I had to reorient my brain, and then the downturn came, and suddenly it mattered a lot. So, in the long run, profit cash flow generation is really important. And this is certainly bringing that to the fore too. Not that I don't know all the answers, but I think we do believe that, cash flow and positive cash flow is important. David Packard, it's a very, he's an older guy, but he was successful. And he said profits are something that can't be postponed. So we tend to play. Of course, if you're in venture capital, they do have to be postponed somewhat. I mean, in any deal, it takes 3 or 4 years to get cash flow.
Exactly.
thank you. That was interesting. And has the deal flow changed? How are you making your investment decisions? Are you holding on, waiting what will happen next, or you're doing it the same way you were doing it before the crisis erupted?
Nothing has changed. We're throwing money on the streets like we used to. We're just throwing it like nothing has changed whatsoever.
Cool. know who is there on the streets to pick it up. If everybody is sitting at
Show
home.
us which street, please.
Yeah, come to America. Gold is a paved gold streets, nuggets, you know, all that good stuff.
Okay, I will start building a boat because there is no airplanes flying nowadays. Yeah.
We actually started to dabbling in our investment during this time. So we used to be global, and now we started to think about more nationally as well. So we doubled our investment. So we are doing as usual investments that we used to look into the deals outside the US, but we literally doubled our investment because we want to invest more in American companies as well to help them during the tough situation that they are facing at the moment.
Great. Okay, great.
I'll say something on the, go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting how, you know, as the longer you live and playing the cycles, you understand how cash is important. And it's interesting how VCs, you know, from times to times, they just overlook and play on growth rather than profitability. And at certain points, you just have the windows closing down and you need cash as a fund or as an entrepreneur. But I believe that in this moment, I'm living in an emerging economy, and we know how short our bull cycles can be. So, you know, we always say to our entrepreneurs, they have to preserve cash, their companies, they have to grow, but they have to understand a moment where they have to be able to breathe by themselves, right? And in this moment, I understand that there are a lot of venture capitalists that will be preserving cash to dedicate for their own portfolios, what they have already invested in. I'd be curious in hearing, you know, who is making new investments and those who are rather preserving cash to their portfolios. Just continue on the question that was mentioned.
I think a lot of that has to do with LP strategy at this point. Considering, you know, the institutions and LPs that are funding these funds or our funds altogether, there's a lot of crisis management that went on, and everyone's going through kind of the 7 cycles of grief. But I think we've come out of that now in terms of as a collective people who know that there's kind of aspiration to go for. So what I would like to know, I guess, in general, since we are talking of the industry in general, you know, what are LPs saying at this point, and what are they offering to the funds? There's one side of it, which is the startups, but, you know, without the lifeblood and the people that we actually serve, which are kind of the LP community, I'd just like to know more there.
On the angel side, and I dabble with LPs as well, I think for the angels, at least on my side, we're waiting for the America to open up again, and just to see what's going to come out on the other side, which sectors may have an opportunity to grow, how would the rest of the world interact with the venture capital ecosystem here. So we're still looking, we're still investigating, we're looking, assessing, but we're not looking to invest till maybe mid-May if things go at the same trajectory we're going on. As far as sectors, completely different for us. The fundamentals are certainly the same. It's good to see how founders are behaving in a real crisis. You know, this is a crisis. The ones who, it's clear, you can see a difference between good founders and okay founders. As far as the LPs I work with, they're all on a holding pattern, again, waiting for the world to open up again. A small percentage are looking at this as an opportunity, but it's such a long trajectory to get to the opportunities. They're not willing to just throw money at it because it's cheap.
Yeah, very much in line with what I'm getting here. Our LPs, they're basically what's deployed, you know, is deployed, but they're holding on cash as well. And the whole discussion is to wait until the economy to open up in Brazil as well. We're expecting to kind of be back to some openness mid-May.
The same mid-May. Yeah. probably.
I hope that we have a possibility to make our Unicorn Cup in the end of July. Yes, Anna?
Yes, 30th of July. Yes, that's my plan. I hope I also have some vision. we'll test it. And
I'm really not sure it will be possible. No, so many people think that it will be a longer crisis than we think.
well, Jordan is surely thinking that, well, we always have chance to move it also a little bit, but I'm still on the optimistic side, and let's hope that everything's happening is happening for the best, right? And at least we are learning something. At least we have a chance to meet each other. We have our internet everywhere. And so I would really encourage all of you joining us for all our future coronavirus battles to come. We're gonna have next week Asia, Africa, Asia, Australia, and Middle East, and first week of May we're gonna have Africa coronavirus battles. And our regular unicorn battles are always open for you to join, and we will see everybody online. Alexander, did you want to say something else?
I just want to say thanks to every judge who came today to this battle and help startups to fight coronavirus, and that we'll be glad to see you again and again and travel with us through the innovation world without any borders. It's possible now.
Yeah, with a push of a button, right, on your computer. So I was really glad to see all of my dear friends, and I will see you again online. All right.
Yes.
Thank you all. Take care. Stay safe. Be healthy. Yeah. See you all, guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Yes.
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Bye bye.
Safe.
Thanks for having us. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hi, Anna.
Bye.
Hi.
See you.
Okay, I have a request. I would like to attend the Middle East one as well. I know the time frame is not good, but I'm actually open to it because I'm Iranian. I'm Persian by nature, and I started to invest in the region more now. Egypt and Tunisia, it's in our portfolio, so I would love to see more deals in the region and meet more people there. So I appreciate if you can send me more information that how I can be.
Sure, just drop me a short letter and I will push back all the information and get you enrolled.
That he works with the KPMG as well. I already did introduction to Anastasia and Maria. Do you want me to make introduction to you too, or?
No, it's okay. If Anastasia knows about it, it's okay. Yes, it's
Wonderful.
absolutely fine.
I'm gonna send you a note, and thank you so much for arranging this.
Thank you, Victoria. Yes.
Bye-bye.
See you in LA. Yes. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. We are closing our webinar. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye. Take care.